Yo, that music gets me going. That fucking track, that intro track, I don't know about y'all, but that shit gets me going. I really did not feel like doing this shit right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. But as soon as I heard the track, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to victory talk. I'm ready to victory talk to y'all. Let's start the show. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Victory Talk Podcast. I don't know if y'all noticed, I made both of those beats that y'all heard before this. You know what I'm saying? I was the second one I made like 10 years ago. And I was gonna rap over it, but I ain't come up with nothing. So now it's the intro to the podcast. What's going on? This is episode 123 of that Victory Talk Podcast. I am your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, the king of ketosis. Keto suave para mi gente. You know, Gymnasium Jesus, Jesus de Gimnasio, el jefe de ejercicio. We got a lot to talk about today, man. I am joined by my producer slash co-host, Nima, best producer in the game.
It's good to be back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Highlight of my week.
Yeah. Listen, I believe you. You know what I'm saying? And that's saying a lot. Because he gets to edit footage of me all week. And imagine how fucking great that is, you know? So that's really saying a lot. Yeah. all the way from Iran, Middle East, you know, and then man in the controls. We got my girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Minovia, you know, she out here, man. Reading the Superchats, managing that, kicking out the haters. We kicked out somebody before this show started. Like when you schedule a live, you'll see it and people will be commenting before. Somebody came through hating before the shit even started, man. We just had to ban him, man. Not even on some like we was mad. It's just like, yo, we don't need that energy. Start the show. Motherfuckers came through hating, you know. In my experience, randomly insulting strangers is typically not a sign of positive mental health. Typically. I'm no psychiatrist, you know. I ain't Dr. Phil, but I can't say that'd be a leading indicator for mental health. All right, but she's gonna be reading the super chats and blocking out all the motherfucking haters. You know, listen, few things. Remember, she's a Latina, right? So few things make her happier than ruining a man's day. I'm gonna be honest, it's just in their blood. You know what I'm saying? So she's like got an itchy trigger finger on the block button. You'll be motherfucking banished and exiled indefinitely. So just be cool, man. Be cool. All right. Listen, I want to get right into the shit because we starting a little late. Starting a little late today, man. All right, but so before we get started though, Nima, I don't know if you noticed, but we got some sponsors.
No way.
Yeah, it's exciting. Listen, the first sponsor of the Victory Talk Podcast is the newsletter Big Money Methods, right? It's in the name. It gives you methods to get big money, and if you want methods to get big money, Click that link in the description and put your email in here. Email address, and twice a week for free, you're gonna get emailed methods to get big money, right? So, man, my man Chris, man, he's one of my top salespeople. Been with me for years, getting mad money, right? And he's part of my HTT coaching, right? So I helped him. He's got his own business, his own online fitness business. He told me he made 20 grand last month off his online fitness business, plus what I paid him. This brother can't stop balling, right? So you definitely want to read Chris's article about goal setting and mind mapping, hear from him. I had some stock shit. I'm talking about, stocks and shit over here, man. The homie Scene, he's breaking down body types. It's like this is like really great information. All right. So you want to make sure you don't want to miss that. Click the sorry, man, something happened behind the scenes. Some fucking wacky just happened behind the scenes. I can't even talk about it. All right. So that's the first sponsor. Second sponsor is Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent. This is the easy to apply spray that keeps the hose away. All right. Because check it out. Once you start listening to the Victory talk, you know what I'm saying? And you start implementing shit you hear on this podcast. And when you join the Discord, this is a free Discord that accompanies this. I don't know if you know that, but in that Discord, I'm going live in there, chatting with y'all, answering your questions, helping you accomplish your goals. I got free courses in there. I got one free course called Direct Hit, right? It's a fat loss course that I used to sell, Hit Cardio. It's kind of like Shaun T's it's kind of like Shaun T's Insanity, but like heterosexual. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I ain't talking shit about what he's doing, what he got going on. That's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you want a heterosexual version of Insanity, that's Direct Hit. And you get it for free. And in the Discord. I used to sell it for $200, man, but now it's free. I also got a free course called Baller Mindset. And this is the best course I've seen on the mindset of getting money, and it's free. Like I'm telling you, man, motherfuckers be out here trying to sell you mindset courses, man. You don't need to buy that shit. Mine is better. I'll put that shit against anybody's, man. And like anybody's, any guru. Anybody, man. Put your shit. I put my mindset course up against anybody, man. And for money, right? And mine is the only one. Not only is mine the best, but it's the only one that's like made by a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? and I know it sounds crazy, but like that's it's important, right? You get the Tony Robbins one, he in there talking all white and shit. It's good content, but it might not be able to. Some of y'all might not be able to resonate with it. I want you to think about it. What if like Jay-Z or Lil Baby made a what if like Jay-Z made a mindset course? That's what it's like. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. Jay-Z made a mindset course for you. All right. It's super dope, high production quality, and it's free. It's in the Discord. I say that to say, once you go through that and you get ripped from the Direct Hit, you start balling off the mindset course, bam, these hoes gonna be all on you. That's what's gonna happen. And it's gonna be to the point where it's gonna be a problem. Like the poor boys, fat boys, regular niggas, they out here. How do I get girls? What's the favorite pickup line? Oh, she's so hot. How would I do to get her? And like, no. The fucking real G's is like, yo, man, it's too many goddamn bitches over here. Like, how do I keep these hoes away from me so I can stay focused on my goals? It's too much. No más chicas, por favor. No más chicas. No más chicas. You know? No más culo para mí. No más culo. But it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much for you to handle, and you can fuck around and get distracted. That's why we put together Thot Repellent. It's easy to apply spray that actually keep the hoes away. Now, the good women, they'll still be able to. It won't harm them. So this was put together by Nima and his team of Iranian scientists. Iranian scientists. You notice how it's like they ain't been talking about stopping Iran from getting a nuclear bomb anymore, right? You notice they ain't been talking about it because they've been working on this the whole time. I don't know what's gonna happen now that they figured it out. That they figured out Thot repellent, they might go back to the bomb, but that's not my problem. That's Benjamin Netanyahu's problem, not mine. Right? Our problem is these thoughts. All right. So they solved that problem for us. It's been genetically engineered to only affect the DNA of them thoughts, hoes, sluts, slut hoes. Hoe sluts, skeezers, skanks, Jezebels, whores. Right? Good women, they'll be able to go right through. You know what I'm saying? They'll be able to go right. They won't even, if it'll just smell good to them. They're like, man, you smell great today, better than ever. Matter of fact, it's the best you ever smelled. That's what the good women will say. The fucking thoughts, they're like, you know, when you spray a roach with some fucking red, they're gonna fall down, you'll start convulsing on their back. And that's what you want. So this is really coming in the market. This is really coming to market. It's not a joke. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. Nima, what's the time? What's the time frame for a release of this so far?
We are kind of finalizing the manufacturer and stuff. Logistics. I would say 65 to 70 days.
About 65 to 78 days, somewhere in between there. Give or take 30 days. Give or take 30. This is really coming, but we need your help, guys, because this has been crowdfunded by ballers for ballers. All right. You'll be part of the solution, helping mankind. And all your super chats go towards development of this. We already done with the research. You know, we already freed the scientists. I mean, the scientists have already put it together. Right now it's just development. Now that we got the recipe. All right. So because this is just a prototype, it's going to be small, the packaging. So all your super chats are going to go towards development of this, right? So, and I think some of the heroes have already contributed to Thot repellent. You know what I'm saying? Can we read some of the super chats from these heroes?
We have Ruben. What are some actions or decisions you had to make throughout your success that you couldn't live without and turn the tide in your favor?
I mean, listen, I'm glad you asked that, Ruben. I kind of talk about it twice a week here on Victory Talk, a lot of them. But if I was to break down, the number one thing was when I started planning out every day in my calendar, every hour of every day in my calendar. That's probably been the number one thing that's helped me. It really sped things up because you get more done in less time when you plan out your time. People don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And then the next thing would be tracking, whether it's my diet, you know, tracking my diet, tracking my progress, tracking my habits, tracking my goals. Tracking was something that's planning and tracking, planning my time and tracking my results. It sounds kind of, how do I put it? It almost sounds too simple. And maybe that's why people don't do it. Or maybe they're lazy. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out what the apprehension is to like planning your time in your calendar and tracking your results, tracking your metrics, you know. I'm trying to understand why it's so difficult for me to get people to do it. But every time people do it, they start to succeed. It's kind of like you ever be playing Mario Kart and you get one of them power-ups that makes you go fast. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. What is it, like a mushroom? You start getting that psilocybin mushroom and you start going fast. That's what it's like when you start fucking planning and tracking. And when you do them both together, then it's like you got the star. You know, the star. Dun, 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 dun. You start going fast. You start killing niggas and shit. And you going fast, like you sniff cocaine on Mario Kart. But that's what it's like with your goals and your progress. So if you do those two things, man, that's why I talk about them like every week to everyone who would listen all the time. Brandon's always talking about the same shit because y'all ain't doing it, dork. I'm not fucking doing this shit. I'm not. This is not entertainment. These is lessons. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn up on you just now. All right, what else we got?
We have Eric. I've lost 15 pounds on keto.
Yeah.
I would like to start implementing a weekly cheat meal, not cheat day, within my calories. Is this okay even if I'll be in and out of ketosis?
All right, Eric. First of all, shout out to you, brother. Congratulations. Hold on, keep Eric's shit up, man. He gave me some props. And I want that to be, all right, took a photo of it. First of all, congratulations, losing 15 pounds. That's fantastic. You definitely can. And one meal once a week is not going to hurt you. The same way if you eat bad all week, but you eat one healthy meal, it's not going to help you, right? It's what you do consistently that counts. Does that make sense? Right? It's what you do consistently counts with most things, right? Obviously, it's not, you can't kill somebody and be like, man, I killed somebody. But the other 364 days, I didn't kill no one. Right? So it doesn't work like that. Like with this, it's about consistency, right? So one cheat meal is not a big deal. Here's the problem with it. Here's why I stopped doing a bunch of cheat meals. I might have 5 a year now. 5 cheat meals. Maybe less. Because this is what you're going to notice, Eric, is after your cheat meal, especially if you start going into eating carbs and shit, you're gonna crave carbs the next day. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna crave carbs the next day. And here's why that happens. Carbohydrates spike dopamine. They're literally addictive, right? They're addictive because they spike dopamine. You're gonna want them more, because you got to think about, if a caveman found some fruit or some shit, he'd be super excited and he'd go trying to get more of that fruit, right? He's trying to get more of that fruit. Now, here's the thing: fruit didn't even look like our ancestors. The fruit wasn't even the same. Like, let me show you. Watch this. If I write prehistoric, this is gonna blow your mind. People like, man, cavemen ate fruit. No, they ate a different kind of fruit than what y'all eating, than what we eating, right? So prehistoric fruit, bro. Wait till you see this shit, man. It's just gonna blow your mind. Let me find a good example. So this is let me see. Hold on. I want to find a good one. Okay. So this is what our watermelons look like, right? But this is what watermelons used to look like. What happens was, like, the fruit was different. What happens was, over fucking centuries and generations, we bred the fruit to be different. Does that make sense? We bred it to be different. So this fucking, we find this is the average watermelon back in the day. Right now it looks like this, but we bred it to be like that. It's not GMOs, it's just breeding. The same way like when you see a bitch walking around with a dog in her purse, right? That motherfucker used to be, his ancestors was a goddamn wolf that would have ate your face, right? But they bred him to be a bitch. Right, over years. They used to be wolves. So I'm just saying, when your ancestors, it was very rare for our ancestors to get some good fruit, especially if it was sweet. So and then it was seasonal too, right? Fruit is seasonal. This whole eating any kind of fruit you want year round is a relatively new development as far as human history is concerned. I say all that to say, when you get something sweet like that, it would be super rare for our ancestors to get it. And when they do get it, oh yeah. Oh, hold on real quick for another one. Look at the bananas. Edward reminded. So these are our bananas. So remember, This is what they used to look like. They were bred to look like this. Like farmers made it like this. It's not GMO. It's just centuries of breeding. Like we changed the shit the same way we changed wolves into dogs. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when a fucking caveman would find one of these rare shitty fruits every once in a while, like only a few times a year, he gets super excited. It spike a lot of dopamine. So they become addictive. So the next day you're going to be super, you're going to have a lot of cravings. And that's why I stopped doing it, because I realized that it's easier to abstain from things than to do it moderately. Right? For me, it's just, if I just say, hey, I don't do this, then there's no cravings associated with it. But if I tease myself with this shit every once in a while, then it becomes cravings. Then you start to want it more. And then regular food is not going to give you that same dopamine spike, right? So the comparison, when you go back to your regular diet, the comparison is going to, the contrast is going to make you like your regular food less, right? Contrast is something very important. You can trick your brain into certain things. For example, I'm rich, right? Super rich, right? My fucking watch costs more than your house, man. My watch, your whole family won't make as much as this watch, right? And I don't say that to brag. I say that to boast, okay? And I don't say that to be cocky. I say that to be arrogant, all right? And so I'm super rich, fucking. My girlfriend got fat ass and big titties. I wake up next to her in a fucking sky palace in the middle of Miami, millions in the bank, right? Sounds good, right? But every once in a while, once or twice a year, I have this dream that I'm riding around Chicago with my dad, right? My dad's dead, right? We was best friends. I have a dream that me and my dad, not even doing the crazy, we just kicking it, talking. Then I wake up and I'm sad, right? Because my fucking dope life sucks in comparison to the dream, right? Objectively, my life is fantastic, right? Better than literally majority of humans who have ever lived. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is yours though, right? Your life is better than almost everyone who's lived like the thousands of years before us, right? Anyway, objectively, everything's great. But when I compare, when it's contrast to the dream of having a dad, I'm sad. I don't say that for your sympathy. I say that to say your fucking regular diet is going to fucking suck worse in comparison to your cheat meal, right? This is why I tell guys, a big reason why you shouldn't start like fuck other bitches. The motherfuckers be like, man, you need to have like 8 bitches, or the fucking red pill guys, they always say, man, you gotta fucking explore your options and fuck other bitches, and your bitch should be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I get what you're saying. The problem is, if you like your girlfriend and you start fucking other bitches, you ever notice that most bitches, okay, and you start fucking other bitches, what happened is the novelty spikes dopamine, right? So now you fuck around and like your bitch less because you fuck some fucking hoe. That's why we got Thot Repellent. All right, your Superchats gonna help you with that. All right, I digress. So you cheat yourself. You cheat yourself out of what you could have in a relationship, right? And if you cheat on your diet, you like your diet less. Like the way you feel good on keto, right? You feel great. You probably got better, more mental stamina, mental clarity. You probably got more energy. Your skin is looking clear and shit. You know, people are like, Brandon, what's your face routine? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just eat, it's diet. Your skin is an organ, right? You get all these benefits, but then you eat that motherfucking candy and cake one day. You get that huge dopamine spike, and now your regular food is just not going to taste as good in comparison, right? So you cheat yourself out of enjoying your regular diet. That was a long-winded answer to say, yeah, you can do it, but I advise against it. I hope that makes sense. All right, what else we got?
We have Dawson, Yo KKK, Visited NYC.
He calling that King Keto Carter. It's a joke he's been making for what seems like years. But I find it funny. I get it.
With some fun activities.
Oh, visiting NYC with some fun activities. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Listen, it depends, man. Are you single or not? Because that's going to change what I tell you what to do. You know, my girl wrote she in advance to the answer to this question, she wrote a bunch of shit. And so my girl says, bam, Little Island, Hudson River Park. I don't know what the fuck that is. But my girl says it's dope. The Edge Observatory in the city. Yo, is that Minovia? Is that the shit that we went to with the balloons and shit?
No, the balloons, that's the next one. But the observatory, that's the one that you're like at the edge of a corner looking down on the city.
Ooh, that shit
and then
is
Little
dope.
Hudson, the little island is on the west side that it looks like fucking cones inside the water.
Yeah. You can tell she's from New York. She was born and raised there. I just lived there for 15 years. She was born and raised there. That's why she sounds like Rosie Perez. We can't hear you, man. I hear her laughing in the house, but I didn't hear her on the thing.
He said he's single, so he has to go to Starlets.
Yeah, I was about to say Starlets. Yo, you got it right. I was like, oh, nigga, you got to go to Starlets. You got to go to Starlets. Then you got to.
So never mind the first two, because that's like some couple shit. He has to on Instagram.
No, the Edge is still dope by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds lonely.
With your homies, I'm sure he's not going by himself. He's single, but he might have some people with him. You know what I'm saying? If you got some people with you, go to the Edge. Like if you're doing some tourist shit, go to. Oh, he's 14. Okay. Never. I was about to say, yo, you're gonna want to go to Starlets, right? Then you want to hit up. Then you want to go to Astoria, Queens, hit up Riviera, right? That's another. Then you want to go down to Jamaica. We got this. We was about to go on a strip club tour, but you're only 14, so I digress. You need to do all that shit. No, why you erase that shit, girl? That's that shit. He needs to do that shit with his family. They need to go to the Edge Observatory. They need to go to the Summit 1 at Vanderbilt. Right, that shit is dope. Right. Oh yeah, he can't go to that pool party shit. Fuck that. Right. Restaurants. Okay, you guys want to see some fucking psycho shit? Tom Cruise, man, he says he thinks I'm a psycho. I don't know why people always say that. But there's some. I'm gonna see if I can pull up. So me and my girl, we got a database of restaurants, of our favorite restaurants. Let me see if I pull up the New York one. Okay. Yeah, you can show my screen. Here's our restaurants of our database of our favorite restaurants. You know, different is categorized by city, neighborhood, style of restaurant. You know what, and then our ratings, price. You know, blah blah blah. If I go to New York, this is a little psycho. All right, whatever. If I go to New York, bam. I don't remember this place. What is this place?
That is in the city, is on 26th Street and I believe 6th Avenue. It's Asian. It's actually really, really good. It's really good, but it's expensive. We gave it 3 money bags, but it also got 3 fires, right? Mexico, this got 1 money bag, and this is cheap. This is a place she really liked. She liked that shit. What is this one? Oh, that's I don't know. We're not gonna send them to Washington Heights. I don't know. I ain't gonna send them up. You have to explore the culture. Yo, if you want to explore the culture, maybe you need to go to Washington Heights. Tell them Keto Suave sent you, man. If anybody give you any problem, be like, Keto Suave sent me, and they be like, see. My friend, yeah, you'll be good. You got Mastro's downtown. That's my favorite restaurant, but it's expensive. 5 fires, you know.
whatever. Make yourself a restaurant database, guys. I don't know why everyone doesn't do that. You guys don't have restaurant databases for every city that you go to? No? All right. Oh, Broadway shows. Yo, there's a Michael Jackson one that's really good. That's the only Broadway show I ever seen. You can do the helicopter ride. You got to go to New Jersey to do that. I know, gross, right? But you can do that shit. And they'll fly you over Manhattan. Just don't know helicopters take off in Manhattan. No helicopter tours, right? Yeah, you want to see Soho, maybe go down Fifth Avenue. If you hit up Fifth Avenue, man, if you go in the Louis store, the Prada store, or the Gucci store, man, tell them King Keto sent me. They'll be like, oh, come right here, sir. Would you like some Prosecco? My name rings bells over there. You definitely got to walk in Central Park. Do not, when the sun goes down, leave Central Park. That's when motherfuckers start getting robbed. But during the daytime, it's beautiful. What else you need to do in New York? Yeah, that's pretty much all. Yo, man, I mean, if you want to see the culture, man, you can go up to 125th. Listen, first thing you do, you and your whole family, go to 125th in Lenox, you know? Just get in the cab and say, take me to Dykeman. If you speak Spanish, you're going to... All right, I'm joking. Those last two were jokes. There's a beautiful little neighborhood tucked away in Queens called Jamaica. All right. And you might I'm fucking with you. Don't go there. All right. Yeah, it's too much stabbing, too much robbing in Jamaica. But it's part of the culture, you know. If you speak Spanish, stay out the Bronx. Nothing. And listen, people won't hype you up about Brooklyn. Nothing good happens in Brooklyn. All right. Nothing good happens in Brooklyn. You see what happened when Kyrie Irving went to Brooklyn? Brother went crazy. Right. You see what happened when Kevin Durant went to Brooklyn? James Harden went through it. Nothing good happens in Brooklyn, guys. When Jay-Z left Brooklyn immediately as soon as he got some money. I fucking hate that place. Everybody I know from Brooklyn, they're super proud to be from there, but they leave. Same with me, Chicago. Like I'm proud to be from Chicago, the South Side. But I don't think it's a great place. For whatever reason, people be hyping up Brooklyn like it's not a motherfucking wasteland. Nothing good happens in Brooklyn. Remember that. Just always remember that. Just stay away. Only good reason to go to Brooklyn is for a Nets game or a concert at the Barclays, and then you leave immediately. All right? Fuck that place. Hey. Do we have any? Oh, we got. Okay, I'll answer one more super chat before we bring in the homie Young Candlestick. I hope we helped you out, young man. There was a lot to unpack there.
We have. Let's do John.
Oh, real quick, fun. It was like World Star Hip Hop. They fucking posted Ice Spice doing some shit, and like motherfuckers be hyping her up like she's so bad. I'm like, nigga, you go to New York above 110th Street. There's like fucking millions of these. Bitch looks super regular, but maybe like motherfucking gringos ain't never seen that shit before, you know. She look fucking regular, like below average for fucking. So if you like Spanish chicks, go to Dykeman, Washington Heights. You know, there'll be some 14-year-old girls with tattoos who'd love to meet you. You ever met a 14-year-old girl with a gang tattoo on her neck? You'll find her uptown. Dykeman. All right. What else? He's 14. I'm not on no Drizzy. I wasn't saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's 14, the guy who you're giving advice to in case you just joined. No Drizzy. All right. I ain't on that shit. My girl is, you know, I don't know. She don't want me saying her age, but she She ain't been a minor for a long time, even though all right. She ain't been a minor in mad long, bro.
We have John B.
Yeah.
John B just got his first apartment in Fort Worth because of you, Tate, and Fresh and Fit, and that is shit one too.
Hey, squad, man, that's the holy listen, that's the holy trifecta right there. Me, Tate's, the homies from FNF. That's the trifecta right there, man. So shout out to you, John B. All right, cool. Listen, here's what I want to do. I'm gonna answer all the super chats. Believe that. But we gotta let the big homie Young Candlestick in to do the market recap. Let's get it. Yo, Young Candlestick, what it do, homie?
Hey, good to see you, Brandon.
What's good, man?
Greetings, fellow Victorinators. We're going to get into the market recap today.
Yeah.
And first off, I actually wanted to showcase big money methods again. So,
I'm
my screen right now. But here we go.
I love when people give me props.
You wrote a really good article on NVIDIA, Brandon. I really, really enjoyed it.
Come on, man.
If I ever need to take like a fat shit, I'm like, oh, I got to catch up on big money methods. Boom. You just scroll through. It's a opportune time.
That is a ringing endorsement. Thank you.
Exactly. It's really, really nice too, because you have the TLDR right at the beginning, and then you go deeper after the TLDR.
Pause.
And basically, we've been talking about NVIDIA for a long period of time, ever since 96, actually. And, NVIDIA's up 40% since that level. And when it comes to single stocks, I do think it's really important to be super picky with your buy prices. But if the single stock is in like an ETF, like the QQQ or the S&P 500, the SPY, you can just dollar cost average into the QQQ and the S&P 500. And then when your single stocks come into a support area or an area of value, that's the time to get that investment in there. Not advice or anything, but I'm going to be buying NVIDIA at 96.40, around there. So former all-time highs.
You're going to buy NVIDIA at what? At 96.40. That's when that's your price.
Yeah, that's kind of my price. Of course, it's going to be like a zone. Not every single price in the market's going to be perfect, but that's just going to be the area that I'm watching out for. And what I really like is the yield max versions, because that way you're collecting monthly income from the stock price. So NVDY basically sacrifices a little bit of upside growth in NVIDIA, but it pays you a dividend of monthly cash flow. So it's super nice because Tesla, you could just buy Tesla. You'll get
Jesus.
I know, right?
Jesus, man.
Too many people want to bet against Tesla. And
I was one of them. I wanted to, but you talked me out of it. Thank God. That's why I listened to Young Candlestick. I was ready to short Tesla. That shit would have been a nightmare.
It's all good. I mean, you just got to wait for those price confirmations. So like, look right here, Tesla never broke that 168 support. Buyers could take control. It rises on volume and then boom. Straight the hell to the upside. And
come on, man.
You can also do things like invest in TSLY. This is the yield max income version of Tesla. And so you'll see the chart have a downtrend. And that's just because whenever it pays the dividend, the stock price drops by the amount it paid the dividend of. So you'll still get that monthly cash flow. You can do DRIP, which is dividend reinvestment. That's really good if you just want like a no-touch long-term portfolio. So that's really cool. Those are the main things I wanted to talk about. But also I wanted to talk about a setup that we might be early on, but it's worth it to be early because then you have a ton of upside. And this is actually the XBI. This is the biotech sector. And what's cool about the biotech sector, think like gene therapy, think therapeutics, pharmaceuticals.
To be clear, this is an ETF, exchange traded fund, which is a basket of stocks. It's a collection of stocks, conglomerate.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have single stock risks. There's a bunch of stocks that are just shoved into it. Some of those stocks would be like Amgen, AMGN, and that's setting up. That's looking decently bullish. So you take a look at the individual stocks within the sector, and if those are bullish, you have a high probability trade. I've got a little bit of MIRM over here. So this is just a small stock I'm looking to add to this position, but we did just break out to all-time highs. I don't have a position on CRSP, but CRISPR Therapeutics think gene editing. So if AI...
Oh, gene editing.
Yeah.
I'm with that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like I think you could make like humans.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna be making superhumans. Have you read about this shit?
I haven't done too much research, and I'm certainly not an expert in the field, but it's cool.
Bam, this shit you can do right now. Like if you got some genetic predispositions, like a lot of them, you can edit out the genes of your offspring now. Today, like if you got if retardedness runs in your family, you can fucking just edit out the fucking code in the gene. Like they doing that shit right now. That's so dope, you know.
It's so cool. And the biggest setbacks that could happen with the XBI ETF would be like regulatory risks of the regulatory hurdles. A lot of people don't fuck with it, you know, the ethics
and the religious motherfuckers, right?
Yeah. You know, research and development can be really costly, but if they can crack the code, like, and they're doing it today, as you said, boom, bro, there could be a lot of
the future, man. We can make motherfucking Captain America's like in 20 years from now, man. Like
soldiers.
They're gonna be like, for example, check this out. The natural way to edit out genes, natural gene editing is to have really diverse gene pools, right? The studies that prove that okay, you know how like you got a real high chance of your kid coming out fucking all R word. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you have sex with a cousin or something, right? Because the more inbred, the more likely you have for like gene fuck ups, right? And then the more outbred is the opposite, right? This is why humans know this on a subconscious level. This is why we're attracted to people with accents. You get what I'm saying? Because we know that their genes are different. And this is also why, you know, for example, you can look at me, you know, I got a lot of shit going on in my genes, right? Like I'm the future. One day everybody's gonna look like me and Bruno Mars, right? Yes. So, but like this, like a lot of my family looks like me, right? There's no like nobody in my family has any cancer. Like everybody dies of natural, like do they just die from being old or gun violence, right? And that's it, right? Like it's because our genes are so diverse, but the less diverse the genes, right? However, now we can do it. Now you ain't gotta go get a passport. You can do it without fucking illegal aliens with the CRISPR shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's wonderful. So kind of it's kind of like opposites attract. Like you might be attracted to somebody that has like a gut microbiome that complements yours.
Yeah, the whole shit. The whole
cool.
Yeah.
But now we can just edit stuff in a database, inject you with a shot, boom, you're done.
Biracial people are the closest thing we have to X-Men. Look it up.
There you go.
I'm not playing. It's the closest thing we have so far.
No,
right, go ahead.
Wood really fucks with CRISPR as well. It's a big holding in our portfolio. It's tricky to say whether the stock may be overvalued or undervalued, but it's one of those things where the upside is really, really high, but there is also a lot of downside. So just know high risk, high reward. But you know, something like leap call options on XBI could potentially be something to think about. You know, XBI has been a laggard compared to big technology. If you take a look at the monthly time frame, this spans all the way from, this is 2007 over here. And right here at the peak, this is about, let's call it mid 2020, 2020. And right now, here we are at 2024. If we could break the 2020 highs, there's a lot of upside on the XBI ETF. That's something to consider. And I might be early. I could be wrong on this. I'm just looking at the chart pattern right now, and I see an ascending triangle. I see some of the stocks breaking out to all-time highs. Hey, there's the setup.
Okay.
So that's one thing to think about. Lately, I've been talking a lot about gold. So GLD, this is an ETF that tracks the price of gold. If you're a futures trader or like a day trader, you could trade /GC. These are gold futures. And this is the price per ounce of gold, 2,372.
Okay.
What's cool about gold is there's many ways to profit from it. Even if it just goes sideways or even slightly higher, it's very stable. It doesn't tend to drop too much. It's a stable asset class, if that makes sense. So I'm wheeling something like GDX. And Brandon, I think on Thursday, I'm giving a quick little training live on the wheel. But we can discuss.
Oh, really? You're gonna do that on Thursday? Okay, I'm
down to. I've got the presentation ready.
All right.
I'd whip something up. But anyways, I'm wheeling GDX. Basically, I make good money if GDX goes sideways to slightly higher. If it goes straight up, I'll lose money if GDX tanks. That's the same as if you buy anything. But what's cool about GDX is it has a bunch of gold miners in it. So you can think AU, the atomic representation of gold. AU, that's breaking out. GOLD, this is Barrick gold. This is another good stock to wheel, in my opinion. Know the risks and rewards. Options trading is not for everybody.
Yeah.
AGI is another stock that's in GDX. Another one is NEM, Newmont Mining. Another one is AEM, Agnico Eagle Mines. So these stocks are all pressing towards their highs. The charts look strong. So might as well go with the ETF version of that.
Okay.
Do you have any stocks that you want me to break down? Otherwise, you did mention some really good setups. Like Etsy.
I've been talking about Chipotle for months, right?
Hell yeah, they finally split.
And they had a split. Chipotle had a 50-to-1 split, right? But look where it's at. Look where price is at right now. Like that was a former resistance area. Maybe it'd be support around it. Maybe, I don't know. It's definitely been falling a lot. And now here's the thing. When I look at it has a super high price per earning, right? It's like 60.
Oh yeah, price to earnings ratio.
Yeah, price to earning ratio. Okay. Yeah, it's super high. So I mean, it looks a little overvalued on if I'm looking at fundamental analysis, but the chart, I just feel like, man, it's been so strong for so long. It looked like the only thing that changed was the split.
Yep.
But I'm not sure.
So Chipotle is a perfect example of the buy the rumor. They're anticipating the split. Boom, the split gets announced. And then it's kind of like sell the news type of thing.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a big move like this is when I like to use Fibonacci retracements. And basically, this is just a nerd, simple way, though, to get support areas. So you go over to your drawing tools, Fibonacci retracements. You can do this on TradingView. You can do this on Thinkorswim. Measure from the low and then measure to the high. And you can get a bunch of support areas.
See, I was right. I just looked at it and saw that support. Yeah. I ain't even look at the homie Fibonacci.
Yeah, you just got that intuition.
I ain't look at that Fibonacci. That's some Italian shit.
Exactly.
Fibonacci. Bippity boppity.
It's just a really helpful tool if you just don't want to draw.
I'm doing nigga Nazi, man. I just looked at the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I saw the nigga Nazi retracement. And I was like, yeah, I need to get me some of that. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Listen, I'm just looking out for you. I'm not telling you what to do. Right to. I just that's me looking out for the homie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, continue.
What's cool about the Fibonacci is that anywhere in this zone can be a buy price. That's as simple as that. Usually the golden fib's the best for straight continuation.
It's right there. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. I just saw it.
If this is like oversold tomorrow and comes into 55.85, you could probably get a day trade bounce out of it because that's the gap and it's the golden fib. You could probably get a good like a 1 to 3% bounce. Yeah,
I mean it's pretty oversold now, right?
Based off RSI standard 14 period RSI, it's almost oversold. It's reading 33 on a scale of 0 to 100. Generally, if you're looking for real oversold, the reason I say this is because we just started the bearish candles, and since they're really engulfing, you kind of want to give it more breathing room. It doesn't mean
and there's a lot of volume. There's a lot of volume on those the
red candles.
Have you seen this shit? Have you seen this shit on Trading View where they got a new candlestick formation? What do they call it? They call it volume candles. Like this is some new shit.
Equivolume. So I can teach a little bit about this. So equivolume, it's really cool. So you can actually see the width of the bar. So you don't really need volume on the lower portion of your graph. The fatter the bar, the more volume it has. Of course, we know that volume helps confirm trends. It helps confirm the price move. So look, if you see skinny little green candles going up, that means, hey, don't trust this rally. It might drop. If you see fat ass red candles, that means,
like we
did jump out.
Yeah. And you can see like that last fat green candle over there in by around April, right?
Ooh, yeah.
You see that like it was a clue to what was going to happen.
Yeah, really good point. Yeah. This volume right here, this volume candle right here, boom, signifies, hey, we might be seeing a strong new uptrend. This one is kind of just okay. And then this is showing a change of character. So
I didn't know they had that on Thinkorswim. I just saw it on Trading View. I kind of like it. I've been keeping it on my chart in Trading View. Those are the candles I use. I know Romulus likes hollow candles.
Yeah. Romulus likes hollow candles. He likes to keep it clean.
yeah. But these volume candles, even though it looked kind of like it looked like a ransom note a little bit, right? but I like it. I just feel like it gives me more information.
Yeah, it's a new perspective too, and it really helps you focus on volume because a lot of people can forget volume. They'll look at price mostly because price is what gets you paid, but volume tells you what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay. I wanted to ask, speaking of volume, I want to ask you about Google.
Yeah, what's up? Google's my largest holding.
Okay, now, hey, man, well, you've been doing well, right? Yeah. You've been doing well, but it's like the volume's going down as that rally's going, as it's going up. And it's in the overbought territory, right? So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't, in this type of scenario, it's more so it's like just going to be running out of steam if it continues higher. I certainly wouldn't short it. There's no short setup on Google. There are better stocks to short. Something like this usually tells me we might consolidate in like a wide range for a period of time. That's what I'm forecasting on Google. I think Google potentially is a buy at the former breakout area, and that'd be about 180 per share. It all depends on your
thinking. Okay, you say 180 because in my brain, I was thinking when it came back to that former support, like around. Oh yeah, that is around 180. Yeah, 181. Yeah, you're right.
It depends on your time horizon too. Like you might find like a day trade opportunity at like 186 for a long. You might find like a 1 to 2 day swing trade at 180. When it comes to like investments, you kind of got to be a bit more picky. It all depends on your time horizon and your risk tolerance, your goals. If I'm looking at Google to invest in, I'm looking at like 150, and that's a ways away. But if there's like a correction in the market, boom, now I can get one of my favorite stocks at a good deal.
You can get it for cheap.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The one that's all I really got. That's all right. I don't really have no other stocks I'm looking at, right
that's
now.
Totally cool.
All right, cool, man. Listen, guys, you definitely want to show up next week because we're gonna show y'all the wheel. I want to talk to you before that, man. Like, maybe we can work on a presentation together, or like just make sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Because it can be a dope like video to really help people out. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Because I've made a lot of money selling options, not buying options, selling options. It's the safest way is aside from just buying and holding, it's the safest way to make money in the market. So I'm excited to teach y'all. Just Greg knows it better, right? That's gonna be super exciting. Yo, we also joined the Victory in the Discord because Greg in there every Wednesday. Tomorrow, y'all doing you and Romulus, y'all doing Trader Town Hall, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Romulus hasn't told me anything else, so it's going as planned.
Bet. All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, and I got to talk to you about the other thing. I'm gonna text you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure.
Text me, call me anytime.
Yeah, I saw you left a voice note, but even though I'd be sending people voice notes, I don't like when people send it.
Oh, okay.
I don't read them when people send them to me. I'm a fucking arrogant bastard. I'm sorry. All right, but I will listen to your voice note tomorrow. I was just mimicking it. No, it's all good. You did the right thing, man. I'm the weirdo. All right, I'm the weirdo. Anyway, man, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. That wasn't his fault. That was me, man, being weird. I'm crazy. I'm fucking lunatic. I'm surprised I have any friends. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Hey, speaking of friends, I think we have some super chats.
We have Ruben again. Have you ever done online side hustles? Which one is your favorite? And which one did you see made your peers the most money?
Man, I've done a lot of shit. I've done affiliate marketing. I've drop shipped. I've done print on demand, Amazon FBA. I've ran ads for people. But what I've seen make the most money is running ads for people. However, it's also the hardest to learn and the most competition. Maybe not the most competition, but there's a lot of competition because there's a lot of people selling courses on how to run ads for people, how to run ads. It's how to start your own marketing agency. And almost everybody who runs ads sucks. Like these motherfuckers are trash, which makes me think that some of these courses just aren't good, or just the cream always rises to the top, and a lot of people suck at a lot. Most people suck at everything, right? Excuse me. But I've definitely seen that work. Either ad agents or the agency model is what I've seen work for a lot of people. Not just ad agency, but like Splashman has an email marketing agency, right? My boy Jeremy, he makes a lot. He's one of the best. He's one of the best at running ads, right? So I've seen that work really well. But it's not to make money. It can't be a side hustle. I guess that's got to be a main hustle, right? So I mean, you could do trading if you learn it, right? Because that works if you know how to do it, though. But most people fail. Like most traders lose all their money, right? So you definitely want to get some sort of mentor. Most people fail because they don't have a mentor. Like most people fail at everything, bro. The average, like, don't trip off that stat. Oh, the average trader loses all his money. The average person just sucks at everything, and yeah, it is hard. The main reason people fail at trading is because I don't know if I ever talked to you guys about this. It's like one thing I noticed. It's like if you're trading, day trading, swing trading, whatever, right? The stock is going to go down or it's going to go up, right? That's it. So it's almost like the 50-50 chance. You got a 50-50 chance of making the right decision, right? But what fucks you is, so to be successful, you only have to be right 51% of the time, right? But where people fuck up is they don't know how to manage they don't know how to manage two things. One is they don't know how to manage their risk, right? So they're betting wild strategies, right? So they might win more than they lose, but because they're betting different amounts or trading different amounts, they're trading, their position size is all over the place, right? But if you manage your position size, right, now it's equal, right? Manage your risk with stop losses. But the main thing you do is got to manage emotions, right? And most people can't do that. Most people are fucking spazzes, right? And that's why most people aren't going to be good at trading because they can't manage their emotions. Even if they learn all this shit, they can't manage emotions, and that's what fucks you up. I know people who are way better, technically better at trading than me. Like if we did it on simulation trading, they would beat me. But I make more money trading than them because I can manage my emotions. I'm not a fucking spaz like them. And a lot of it's because I've been meditating for fucking 15 years. So I'm just cooler than most people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like cool, calm, collective. And, I've had like real shit, the first time I had a gun in my face, I was 5, right? So like after that shit, after shit like that, man, after you've been in a few shootouts and shit, looking at a stock chart ain't gonna stress you out that much. You know what I'm saying? When you got a bunch of dead homies and niggas in jail, and shout out to them, they ain't snitch, you know. Like when you've been through shit like that, you know, looking at a stock chart is not as stressful, you know. But the average person hasn't been through that kind of trauma. So like, oh my God, I lost $50, and they fucking spaz start throwing shit against the wall. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's scared of everything. Basically, yeah. So maybe you shouldn't trade. Now to think about it. I don't know. If you have a mentor, it'll help more. Everything is difficult, right? That's the problem with side hustles. Like to everything, pretty much everything is difficult. But trading would work. Trading would work, especially if you have a mentor like we teach in the Legion, like Greg and Relentless, because you can fuck around and copy their trades and then just win. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the easiest way. All right, what else we got?
We have Bruce.
Big Bruce.
Brandon, do you do one-on-one consultations for a set price? Would love to seek your advice on finding my life's purpose, as your videos have helped a lot. I started the Google Calendar grind thanks to you.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Shout out to you, Bruce. Every time I've ever done one-on-one counseling, like do one-on-one calls for price, is because I was trying to buy something really expensive and I didn't want to fucking spend my money. Like, all right, I'll do fucking 10 calls for $1,000 and buy this thing, you know. But now I got so much money, I don't know how much I would charge for that shit. Like, I just don't know, because when I did that shit, I had less money. It was like years ago. Like I haven't done one in like 5 years where like people could pay me for one-on-one coaching. When I did, it was like $1,000. And people would pay for it, and I would change their whole life, man. I'm really good at solving problems and helping people accomplish their goals. I love coaching. I would like to do something like that, but like at this point, it's like the amount I would have to charge to make it so it has extrinsic value. Because intrinsically, I just like helping people, right? I love being a coach, but at the same time, I got responsibilities, right? So life is a game of trade-offs. If I'm spending my time doing one thing, that means I'm not doing other things, right? And so the other things, you know, pay my employees' bills and salaries, you know. So it's like now I got responsibilities. So I'd have to charge an amount that almost nobody, that it'd be really difficult for people to pay for it. You don't make me an offer, man. You know, like everything's for sale. Everybody's got a price. Everybody's got a price, man. I remember I asked this dude, I said I was doing a podcast, and I asked this dude, I was like, man, I was telling him, man, everybody's got a price, bro. Would you slap a baby for $1 billion? He's like, no, okay, 10 billion. He said, how hard do I got to slap it? It's got to be a decent slap. he said, and I was like, man, he started thinking about it, right? You know, and then I was like, $10 billion. Think about that. Like, really think about what $10 billion is. I'm talking tax-free, $10 billion. He'd count one slap, one baby. And he said, yeah, I guess I would, man. You know what I'm saying? I just had to give his parents $1 billion or something, man. Set up $1 billion trust fund. I was like, okay, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up because I wouldn't do that shit, man. Like, you a monster. I don't know. That was super funny to me. But anyway, everybody's got a price. You make me an offer, man. Make me an offer, man. Everything's for sale for the right price. It's just, you know, some prices are inordinate, exorbitant. You know what I'm saying?
We have tips and trips.
Right.
Sub Brandon, is Splenda or agave allowed on keto?
Yeah, I'm not a big agave fan. I don't remember why. It's like syrupy or some shit. But Splenda, man, I eat Splenda all the time. I know the fucking hippies will tell you not to, man, but fuck them. These same hoes telling you, these are the same hoes telling you to fucking burn leaves in your crib to get rid of the spirits or some shit. Shut up, ho. Shut up and pass me that Splenda, ho. I ain't ask you no questions. Look, ho, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever use agave. Nah.
We have the gamer with $1.
You just don't, yo, I fucks with it, man. I fucks with it. Yo, busy in this bitch.
We have Al Busy for Thot Repellent. We need it.
Yeah. Listen, man, it's coming. It's coming soon, man. Between 72 and 83 days. We're gonna have that. Give or take 27 days.
We have the HVAC podcast.
All right.
BBC just closed another $900 mastermind membership and $2,000 agent client. Your tips really helped a lot. Thank you.
Come on, man. We're doing God's work over here, man.
What psychology books would you recommend to understand people or buying behavior?
Listen, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Greatest book of all time. You know, greatest nonfiction book of all time, right? Somebody's gonna bring up some fiction book. Oh, what about Lord of the Rings or the Bible? I'm like, no, nonfiction. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another one is Influence by Cialdini. I just said that to piss off the fucking crazy religious people, man. I grew up Christian. I fucks with Jesus and shit. It's just every time I talk about books, every video, look at every one of my book videos. Somebody says, he forgot the Bible. That's the best book in the world. Yo, shut the fuck up, man. The Bible is clearly a collection of fables, right? But it's to prove points, right? It's like that's how prehistoric people communicated, right? Jonah did not live in a fucking whale, bro. You're not telling me that shit. It did not rain frogs in Egypt. Like, if God used to do shit like that, why'd he stop? Right? Did God find a better way? Is your fucking God? Was he doing trial and error this whole time? No, man, it's a collection of, was your God trying to figure it out? And now he's found, okay, man, the frog shit, I'm gonna stop doing that. Nah, man, it doesn't work like that. I believe in God, and I fucks with Jesus, man. He's that dude. But them stories is a collection of fables, my nigga. David killed a fucking giant with a slingshot. Yeah, all right. Yeah. But it's cool stories, good points. I mean, they teach good lessons. Like when the homie, the big homie Moses, right? When he was talking about, and he wrote Genesis, he was just making shit up, right? But he was trying to prove points, telling stories to prove points. I personally think the universe took more than 7 days to get built, right? I think so, right? And when he said, he telling the story Adam and Eve, they was chilling all naked and shit, had paradise, everything was perfect, and then that bitch started talking to a snake, right? Next thing you know, she tricked Adam into eating the apple. Now we all got to get jobs and wear clothes, right? That's a story. It's a fable, right? But it's there's some good points that are made. There's some good points that are made because one, what did we learn from that shit? Oh, bitches fuck your whole shit up. Right? That's what Moses is trying to tell us. The brother was a prophet. Bitches will fuck your whole shit up. That's what Eve did. Don't let your girl have guy friends. They snakes. That's what that's what Moses is trying to tell us, man. Eve was the first thought. That's what Moses, he's a prophet, brother. Right? So even though the stories are mostly fables, right? It's there's a lot of really good lessons in there. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to discredit the lessons or the wisdom. All right. I'm sorry. What else, please?
We have Ruben. How successful can someone get in the stock market following the Victory unit with Greg and Romulus?
Yo, man. Shit. Listen, we got yo, show up for the fucking Trader Town Hall. Right, Greg, if you still here, man, show them. There was some guys. We've got some testimonies from people who just made like a lot of money, bro. Who made a lot of money. But it depends on how much you have to play with. You know what I'm saying? It really depends on how much you have to play with, how much you can go. But you can definitely, yeah, my returns have been fucking crazy. Like I've made a lot of money, with Greg and Romulus' help. Right.
And we have Dawson. Can skateboarding coaching biz be scaled to online?
No. Nope. The reason I just don't believe that you want to pick a market that has money, Dawson, right? And I ain't never met no skateboarders who were balling, except for like, this Tony Hawk, the dude from Reticular, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, how many fucking skateboarders who got a lot of money? I mean, theoretically, you can happen, right? But most skateboarders I know, man, I've ever met, they weren't doing that well financially. You know what I'm saying? But they found something they love, right? Fucking skating, right? And that's cool. I'm happy for them. Cool. I think that was all the super chats. I told you I was gonna answer them all. Yeah, Greg, show him some shit on the fucking Trader Town Hall because I ain't got it memorized. All right. Listen, guys, let me bring something up real quick. I know a lot of you guys want to get rich, and there's a few things you're gonna have to avoid if you want to get rich, and that's going to be the subject of this week's Real Talk. All right. You want to get rich. You want to make some money. You want to excel financially. Then this is the video for you. This might be the most important video you ever watch because I'm going to break down some of the things you need to avoid in order to really start balling, shot calling, flexing on the haters, stunting on the hoes. All right. Now, you may be thinking, why should I listen to this guy? He got a tank top on, man. Well, because over the last few years, I've built several multi-8-figure businesses. And not only that, I've coached other entrepreneurs and helped them build successful businesses as well. And I've noticed patterns, both in myself and the entrepreneurs I coached. And if you follow this advice, it'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you don't follow this advice, I can pretty much guarantee failure. At best, you'll be mediocre, have an average looking wife, but she ain't gonna like you because you making average money, and she gonna wish she married someone else. Then y'all gonna get divorced because the average marriage ends in divorce, right? 50% of marriages end in divorce. She gonna take half of your shit because you too much of a bitch to get a prenup. Your kid's gonna be she gonna take half your shit and your kids, and then she gonna marry another motherfucker, and your kids ain't gonna like him, and they ain't gonna like you because she gonna blame everything on you. Your life will just be an unmitigated disaster, and then you die. Let's avoid that fate with the things that you need to avoid in order to get rich. All right. All right. So the first thing you need to avoid if you want to get rich is you have to avoid empty victories. What do I mean by that? Well, when I was struggling, and I say struggling, not broke, right? So in my early 20s, my father killed himself, and it was during the recession of 2008, right? So I had to take care of the whole family, but it was the worst economic conditions since the Depression, super bad. We had record unemployment. The global economy was collapsing before our very eyes, right? And And I had to work really hard to dig myself and my family out of the hole, but nobody was hiring. So I had to work a bunch of labor jobs, and I was working like 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I did that for 2 years. And during that time, I was able to help my family and get us out of that position, but I kept working with that same work ethic. And a lot of times people would tell me, excuse me, you got to enjoy life. You got to work. You got to enjoy life, man. You work too hard. Man, you got to live a little, all this shit. And for a second, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought, man, why don't I want to enjoy life as much as these people do? And then I read a book called Relentless by Tim Grover. Tim Grover trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and a bunch of other, amazing Hall of Fame basketball players, right? And he didn't talk about training, the specific tactics or drills they did. He talked about the mindset, right? And what he said, after I read that book, I realized, if you want extreme success, then you actually have to approach it differently than other people approach it, right? All this live a little, enjoy life shit, that's cool if you don't want extreme success. If you want to be regular guy doing regular shit until you die, then yeah, you can kind of half-ass it, you can pussyfoot it to your goals, right? But if you want extreme success, or you're in a deficit, if you're in a success deficit like I was, and you had to dig yourself out, then you have to be extreme, right? Extreme results. If you want extreme results, they require extreme actions, right? And it doesn't really work any other way. And when I read that book, Relentless, it kind of gave me permission to work really hard and take my foot off the gas. And one thing I realized was, when it comes to enjoying life, that recreation wasn't the only way to enjoy life, right? You can enjoy life with recreational activities for sure, but it's not the only way, right? Some of us enjoy life by pushing ourselves, by seeing how much of our potential we can bring to the surface, and working on that every day. And if you learn to enjoy life that way, as opposed to only being able to enjoy life with recreation, then you can enjoy life more often. That's what people don't understand, right? Because if the only way you can enjoy life is parties, recreation, recreational drugs, vacation, casual sex, all this shit, none of those things are bad within themselves. But if those are the only way you can enjoy life, then you can only get little pockets of joy, because you can't do those things all the time. You certainly shouldn't indulge in those things every day, right? So that means you don't enjoy life every day. But if you can learn to associate enjoying life with pushing yourself and seeing how much of your potential you can bring to the surface, then you can enjoy life every day, 24 hours a day, right? What people don't understand is I've changed my associations with pain and pleasure, right? So now, I'm just as happy in front of my computer working on spreadsheets or doing shit for my business as the average person is on a vacation, getting high, smoking dope. Because I changed my associations with pain and pleasure, right? And I stopped chasing empty victories and started chasing long-term victories. All right. This is very important. And what that looks like is, see, a lot of you guys heard me say this before. Just shut the fuck up and listen, bro. All right. I ain't asking no questions. All right. So Sigmund Freud, everyone's favorite coked up pervert, he's also the father of modern psychology. He said that people are always moving towards pleasure, that's a heart, or away from pain, that's fire. It represents pain, right? And that's why everybody makes every decision, right? So right now, you associate pain with hard work. you know, with hard work. Some of you associate pain with diet, working out, waking up early. Right? And you associate pleasure with hoes. Party. Drugs. Recreational drugs, right? Vacation. Right? So when you associate pain with something, it takes a lot of discipline to do those things. Under these circumstances, it's going to take a lot of discipline to do the stuff here, right? And it's going to take a lot of discipline to not do the things here, right? But you can change that. You can change these associations with something else I talk about all the time, right? Is the list of hate in the list is the list of hate, right? And the list of great. So what the list of hate is, you're going to make a list of everybody who talks shit about you. Every person, every chick who rejected you, everybody who said you couldn't make it, motherfuckers who made YouTube videos shitting on you. Maybe that might be a unique thing for me. But you want to just make a list of it, right? And look at that list every day. That's how I start my mornings. And you got to understand that over time, you got to understand that when you don't work hard, the haters win, right? And the only way to punish them, right? Because we can't like fuck them up, beat their ass or shoot them anymore, right? So now we got the only way to punish them is with your success. You get what I'm saying? Frank Sinatra said the best success is massive revenge. And in my experience, that's true. Right. The best revenge is, Frank Sinatra said, the best revenge is massive success. And in my experience, that's true. Right. Because I've gotten revenge on people all different types of ways. But the best has been massive success. Believe me, I've tried everything. I'm super well versed in revenge. But massive success is the best one. And the beauty of it is it propels you towards your goals more, right? So people will tell you, hey, you should do it for yourself. You shouldn't worry about the haters. I'm like, no, man. If you don't harness that hate, you're wasting opportunity to use this beautiful fuel to propel you towards your goals. Because hate is just a tool, just like any tool, right? Like a knife. I can use a knife to cut up food that I'm preparing for homeless people on Thanksgiving, right? Or for children at an orphanage. That way I use the knife for good. Or I can use the knife to start stabbing people and shit, right? It's not the knife that's good or bad. It's how it's used. Same thing with hate. If hate is used for good, then it's a good thing. You get what I'm saying? It's a good thing. But the problem that if you only lean on hate, then you risk becoming, you risk being on some Darth Vader shit, right? If all you use is hate, right? You want to use you want to use other emotions as well. And that's why I say the list of great. So you want to make a list. You want to imagine a version of yourself that accomplished all your goals and aspirations, and then write down the attributes that version of yourself would have to have. What time a day does that person wake up? What time does that person go to sleep? Is that person staying up, getting high, playing video games, jerking off, right? Is that motherfucker blowing all this money in the strip club? Like, what is he really doing, right? And here's the thing. You look at that list every day too. And every time you start acting in accordance to what's on your list of great, you start to feel good about yourself. You start to actually like yourself more. You're actually proud of yourself. Here's a funny thing. A lot of people say they don't have confidence or they lack self-esteem, and because they haven't given themselves a reason to have confidence. They haven't given themselves a reason to be proud of themselves. When you start acting in accordance to what's on your list of great, then you actually give yourself a reason to be proud of yourself. And even before you accomplish the goals, you'll like yourself better because you're doing the shit you're supposed to do. And you'll start to enjoy doing the things you're supposed to do. Right. And what happens is this shit starts to flip. See if I can make this shit. You start associating pleasure with the stuff you used to associate pain with. Right. And then you start associating pain with the stuff you used to associate pleasure with. So you start to flip. So now when you're out here chasing hoes at the party while you're high on vacation, you start to feel bad about yourself because two things have happened. You're not acting in accordance with the man you need to be to accomplish your goals, and you letting the haters win. These motherfuckers will be ready. Motherfuckers were hating on you if you don't accomplish their goals. They weren't hating. They were just correct. If they said you couldn't do it and you don't do it, it wasn't hate. It was just a fair assessment of your capabilities. You motherfuckers were fortune tellers. You know what I'm saying? Right? They should start playing the lotto because they were right. You know what I'm saying? They can predict the future and they did it, you know? Right? But what happens is, and you know that, right? So you start to hate that shit. Then you start to, at this point, once you start changing associations, then it doesn't take discipline. That's the beauty. We transcend this shit. Discipline is important, right? If you got it, cool. But if you have to, what if you didn't have to rely on discipline? What if you changed your brain? When you change your brain, you change the game. The only way I know to do that is list of hate, list of great, list of hate. It's just a form of conditioning yourself. Make no mistake, if you don't condition yourself, then your environment, society, other people will condition you, right? You're going to be conditioned no matter what. Are you going to be an active participant, or are you going to be a victim of the conditioning? That's what you've been up until this point. All right. Right. And then you won't have to worry. You won't take discipline for you to stop focusing on empty victories. Right. You'll start focusing on the things that will propel you towards your goal, and you'll like it. And then people will start calling you a workaholic. They'll start thinking you're crazy. And that's when you know you're on the right path to extreme success. Seriously, when you'll know you're on the right path when people start saying you're crazy, you work too much, you got to live a little. And when they can't even fathom a motherfucker enjoying life, doing the stuff you do, but you feel like, oh man, this is what I want to do. I'm not forcing myself. When you start feeling like that and people start saying you're crazy, that's how you know you're on the right path. Because it is crazy to them. And that's why they're going to be failures. Right. All right. The next thing you need to avoid is limiting beliefs. Right. You want to avoid limiting beliefs because we talked about conditioning. If you don't condition yourself, your environment will condition you, right? So it's very important that you control the conditioning. And a lot of us, we grow up with a lot of limiting beliefs that hold us back. For example, you know, I was I told this story before, but it bears repeating because I love telling it. I was taking my son to Lego Discovery World. It's in a mall, right? It's a Lego place where you can have fun, play with Legos, do Lego shit. It's cool, man. We start doing Lego shit. We start building together. You know what I'm saying? And there's an Omega watch store in that same mall. And I just, let me stop at this shit right quick. And I was looking at this the Omega Planet Ocean chronograph watch. It's a new limited edition one they came out with. And I tried it on. I was like, yo, man, how much this big ass crazy watch? And the dude said, it's 10 grand. And my son was like, 10 grand. He's 6, 10 grand. That's too much money. And I said, I was like, I don't know where he learned that shit. But I said, not for me, but I said, hey, look here, homie. Never say something's too expensive, right? You can get anything you want if you work hard enough. And that's just a belief. That's an example of a belief I want to instill in him from a young age, because a lot of times what I see happening to people is they get these limiting beliefs instilled in them by their parents, right? And I see it really prevents them from thinking what's possible. People, when your parents say we can't afford it, it's too expensive. I can't be realistic. You know, you can't do that. You know, these limiting beliefs, they go into our subconscious mind. They become part of our programming, right? And how it affects us is it looks like this. There's reality, right? Right. Reality, there's objective reality, like just what's there, right? Right. But then there's objective reality and there's subjective reality. Subjective reality is how you experience reality, right? We all see things differently, right? If you know somebody who's shorter than you, do this experiment. Like bend down to their eye level and start walking around the room. The same room looks different. You know, I swear this is a weird thing, right? But you're both seeing the same thing, but you're looking at it from different perspectives. So you're having a different experience with the reality. You get what I'm saying? Or your dog, he sees reality, he experiences reality different than you do, because your dog can't see in color. He can barely fucking see it all, right? But he can smell way better than you. So he's smelling all types of shit. Right? He's experiencing reality. He's having a different experience of the same reality than you are because of his perception. Right? Now, with humans, our nervous systems are pretty much the same. Right? But we still experience reality differently. Right? And for example, I'll give you an example of this, and then I'll show you how to apply it to your life. Right? Right. Reality is like for weight loss. Reality is, hey man, calories in, calories out. You're going to lose weight. Right. That is reality. No matter how you look at it, that's just the truth. That is objective reality, right? Now, here's the thing. Reality gets interpreted both through our nervous system, like, you know, our senses, but also through your beliefs. So your beliefs is like the filter. Right? So if your beliefs are dieting is hard, then that will be true for you. Right? But is that the truth? Right? What if you had the belief that, hey, I can control the amount of food I put in my mouth. I can control what I put in my mouth. I'm not some whore who will just put anything in my mouth. I'm in control of what goes in my mouth. Right? What if you took the belief that controlling the amount of food you put in your mouth is actually the lowest form of discipline? It's like right above not shitting on yourself and pissing your pants, right? Right? If you can stop shitting your pants, then you can control how much food you put in your mouth. I believe that. What if you took on that belief? Then you'd have a different experience with this calories in, calories out shit. Right? Right? Now here's the thing. Your beliefs impact something called your reticular activation system, or RAS for short. What is RAS? Well, it's a part of your brain that's connected to your brainstem. This is a real part of your brain, the reticular activation system. And what it does is it filters what you experience in your nervous system based off your beliefs. For example, let me show you a video that shows how how the reticular activation system works. So, all right. So check this out. I'm gonna fast forward this shit.
To test just how much attention the attention-stealing design of the new Skoda Fabia actually steals, we left one parked on this ordinary road in West London. We wanted to see if its sharp crystalline shapes, bold lines, and lower, wider profile would attract the desired level of attention.
All right, so just look at the car. Focus, just focus on the car. You want to know that, like the guy said in the video, just see how people respond to the car. People, just focus on how people respond to this new car.
Will the 17-inch black alloy wheels stop passers-by in their tracks? Will the angular headlights attract the attention of other road users?
Will it? I don't know.
Will a crowd gather to check out its fresh, sporty look? Well, not quite. But did the attention-stealing design distract you from noticing that the entire street has been changing right before your very eyes?
Okay, me and this white man told you to focus on how people respond to the car. But what you missed was the whole fucking, because we controlled what you focused on, right? You missed all the other shit that was happening on the street. Like, check it out.
Don't believe us? Have another look.
This is how the shit started. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to the beginning. You can see it right here. You can see like this is the beginning of the video, right? In the corner. That's how the street started. Now but because
did you spot the van changing to a taxi?
Damn.
How about the scooter changing to a pair of bicycles?
Damn.
Or the lady holding a pig?
You didn't even notice.
Let alone the fact that the entire street is now completely different.
The fucking buildings changed colors and you ain't even notice it. Right? The buildings changed colors. And you didn't even know. This is the end product. Oh, this is the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And this was the end. And you didn't even notice it happen, right? Because we controlled what you're focused on. That's what your RAS does. And you program your RAS with your beliefs. It's kind of like the way when one of your homies gets a new car or some shit, you start singing that car everywhere. You did not fucking start attracting that shit with like you're an X-Man or some shit. No. That car was there all the time. You just didn't notice it, right? You just didn't notice it. The car was there all the time. So what happens is you believe that diet is hard, and now your RAS starts to look for evidence that is true, right? And the same thing here. If you believe, hey, I can control how much food I put in my mouth, I'm not a child, right? Then you start to look for evidence that is true. Right? Your brain will start showing you evidence. And then that is how your reality is formed, right? Because reality, and then there's your reality. Right? If I say, this is how like racism is formed, right? If I tell you that all fucking black people are lazy criminals, right? Then you'll see that. You're only gonna see motherfuckers on the news, right? But you won't see, Barack Obama, right? You won't see Thurgood Marshall, right? You won't see the dude who started BET, right? You won't see Oprah, right? You're only going to see what you believe. That's how racism, that's how prejudice is, right? There's another example, right? Because you believe something and then your RAS shows you evidence, and that forms your realities, right? So if you believe that you can't control the amount of food you put in your mouth, or you believe dieting is hard, right? Then that's going to be your experience, because you're going to see evidence of it, right? But if you believe, hey man, I can control, I'm not a child, I can control the amount of food I put in my mouth, then you're going to be out here balling. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be killing this shit. That's a man with muscles. All right. But it's like that with everything. So you really have to guard your beliefs. This is why when my son said that's too expensive, I was like, no, nothing is too expensive. If you want it, you can get it as long as you work hard enough. Right. It's very important that you guard your beliefs. Right. And the way I do that, I don't like letting people say anything negative around me, right? And I don't speak. I do my best to never speak negative as well. So today I didn't get in as much sleep as I would have liked to. So instead of saying I'm tired, it's like, man, I need to get more sleep, or I need to get more energy, right? But if I said, man, I'm tired, right? What's going to happen? My RAS system is going to look for evidence. But if I say I need to get more energy, right, then my RAS is going to look for ways for me to get more energy. All right, cool, man. Boom, you got some modafinil in the counter, man. You got that emergency Adderall in the crib. You got enough pre-workout in here to get somebody kicked off their NCAA team. All right, you can look for energy. Maybe take a nap right quick. There's a lot of stuff you can do, right? Same thing. Instead of saying, oh, I ain't got enough money, you got to start saying, man, I need to find more ways to get money. Right. Instead of saying I'm hungry, say, yo, I need to get something to eat, because when your RAS system is going to look for ways it's going to look for evidence of whatever your beliefs are. So you got to control your beliefs, and thoughts and words are beliefs expressed. Words are just thoughts verbalized. So you got to really control those thoughts. You got to control those words. This is very important. And a lot of it's going to have to be reprogramming, right, from your broke ass parents, right? I get it. I'm lucky in this shit. Even though I grew up poor, like my dad always told me I can do whatever I wanted. He just always told me that, the way I tell my son. And the beauty of it is, if you know my story, man, even though we grew up poor, I got sent away to military school, and then by the time I graduated from military school, I graduated at 17. My dad he went from being poor on the south side of Chicago, right, to he was making $3 million a year in the year 2000. So adjusted for inflation, that's 24 years ago. Adjusted for inflation, that would have been $8 million in today's money, right? So I saw him do it. Now, he fucked all the money up. I didn't experience none of the wealth because I was going away in military school. And by the time I graduated from college, Howard University, HU, what up? By the time I graduated from college, he had fucked all the money up. We was broke in, and he killed himself. But I knew it happened, right? Like, he didn't know how to sustain wealth, but he knew. But he said you can be anything you want to be, and then he did it. You know what I'm saying? And then he did it, right? So so a big thing you need to realize when you look at your list of hate and list of great is like, yo, when you tell your kids they can be whatever they want, if you don't if you don't end up being whatever you want, right? If you don't fucking live that shit, he's gonna think it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And he won't believe you. So I was super lucky that I had parents who instilled that shit in me, but then they walked the walk. You need to be that for your generation, right? And so basically you got to control your beliefs, all right? And yeah, and the third thing, What'd you say? Yeah, no, I know. The third thing you need to avoid is your comfort zone, right? The comfort zone is like a prison that keeps you in bondage, right? Sometimes people would rather stay in the hell they know than go into the unknown, right? This is why you see some, people stay in abusive relationships or bad relationships, or you see people stay at jobs they don't hate, right? Because they're too afraid to go out there and try new things, right? And this keeps them in bondage, a bondage made by their own fear, right? And I've seen it stop a lot of talented people from actually going after their goals or going after their dreams. And then what happens is they get to be my age. I'm 42, and it's kind of late to start going after your dreams at 42 once you got kids, responsibilities, maybe you got a wife or some shit, right? And now you don't have as much free time. You can't be as free because there's people dependent on you, so you can't take the same amount of risk. But also, listen, I don't have as much energy as I had when I was 24. As I don't have as much energy at 22 as I do at 42. I'm just being honest with you. Like, for example, I got a bad night's sleep last night. I got like 3-4 hours of sleep. That shit was normal when I was 24. I would do that shit and then get up and fucking get it popping all day. Right? Today, that shit was like, oh, well, we're gonna do the best we can today, right? You just have a different the amount of vigor is going to be different as you age, right? And you got more responsibility, so you can't take the same risk you can when you're young. So that's why you can't let fear stop you when you're young, right? If you're in your 20s or 30s, you gotta conquer your fear. And I have a whole video that'll show you how to conquer fear. Go watch that video right now. What else we got? Let's answer some super chats and we gotta get up out of here.
We have Dawson. BBC, how do I become a good dad to my kids one day?
Dawson, you 14, man. I remember earlier. Don't worry about it. Listen, you still a kid, right? You ain't even got to listen. You got a long time to have it. Don't worry about it. But I will say what I said earlier. I mean, you got to lead by example, right? If you a fat dad, you telling your kids they got to eat healthy, but you a fat boy. I mean, what the fuck, right? Like you wouldn't listen to well, here's one thing I think about. This is for everybody. Dawson, you a kid, this ain't really for you. But I think about my son thinks I'm the man now, right? But he don't know shit. He's only 6, right? Now he's right, of course, right? But when he gets older, right, you know, he's gonna have different influences, right? Right now, it's me and Thomas the Train. We his favorite people, right? Thomas the Tank Engine, me, right? But he's gonna have more influences when he's older, right? Other friends, motherfucking rappers and shit, you know, YouTubers, influencers, right? And if I want to have more influence over him than them as he ages, right, then I need to be the motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really believe I'm competing with everyone. You know what I'm saying? So for a 6-year-old's attention, I spend all my time trying to impress a 6-year-old. Because if I have more influence, if I'm more influenced by, like, the way you guys look at like influencers like Tate or whatever, you know, whatever, it's like, can you be that for your kids? You get what I'm saying? And then you have more influence, right? And shit you say makes sense, you know. But if you a motherfucking poor boy and you fat and you ain't living, if you don't live a life that he wants to have, he gonna look at you lame as this motherfucker again, right? But if you the man, then he's gonna look at you like, oh shit, I need to listen. Because all my friends looked up to my dad, like in towards the end of high school and in college. We was like, yo, this nigga did it, man. Because we was poor in Chicago. Me and all my friends saw my dad come up until his demise, right? It kind of fucked with us too, right? Because when he killed himself and lost all his money, it fucked with us because we had like we based, you know, a lot of our fucking belief system on this nigga, right? But I digress. Me and my homies was looking up to my dad because we seen he was a street nigga just like us from fucking the South Side of Chicago, and he did it, right? So can you be that for your kids, you know?
We have Nick. Speaking of diet, did you have any trouble eating all that food on your keto book? Tips for hard gainers.
Nah, man, it's not as difficult as you think, man. It's like, the thing is, bro, you're not tracking your diet. It's not as difficult as you think. And if you need to, and you don't have to eat more food, you can drink your calories too. Like, I drink a lot of protein shakes a day. I probably eat 2 meals a day, sometimes 3, but I probably eat 2 meals, big breakfast, big dinner, and then I have like protein shakes or little keto snacks throughout the day. You know, nothing crazy. But a real tip for hard gainers is to drink more of your calories, because you can fuck around and drink 500 calories with the right if you drink the right shit. You know, fucking a glass of orange juice, a tall glass of orange juice has like 200 calories, man. That's a lot. To put that in context, to burn 200 calories, the average person would have to run 2 miles. Right. So if you run 2 miles and drink a glass of orange juice, it's like you did nothing, you know. The opposite is true. You're trying to lose weight. You want to avoid drinking your calories. You know what I'm saying? Because you can fuck around and drink a lot of calories on accident. All right. But the key is to track. I mean, Nick, you're not tracking. I know you're not tracking, because that's the language of someone who's not tracking. And that's cool. Just know that you're leaving shit to chance. If you track your diet, everyone who tracks their diet wins. Here's a study from, I thought I had it. Here's a study from Duke University. This is where we're going to end it. There's a study from Duke University where we're going to focus on the gray line. The gray line, they had people track all they had to just track what they were eating, everything they ate. And they used MyFitnessPal for 3 months. Boom. Then they didn't track it for the next 3 months. They still maintained most of the weight loss. Now the blue line is people who had a coach, right, for 3 months, right, and they kept losing weight, but without a fucking diet plan or anything. They said, hey, they didn't even give them a diet plan. They just said, hey, track what you're doing, because tracking improves everything. If you're not tracking, you slacking. If you're not tracking, you slacking. All right. This has been another episode of Victory Talk, the only podcast that shows you how to build your money, muscle, and mindset so you can flex on the haters and stun on the hoes more effectively. All right, we do this shit every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll let y'all. Peace.